Hello traders out there in Traderland, this is D7. Happy 4th of July to everybody here in America. This is the weekend edition, and it is Independence Day weekend here in the United States. Independence Day is commonly known as 4th of July. It is a federal holiday commemorating the adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. It's a great time where we like to have barbecues and fireworks. So to everybody out there, happy 4th of July, and make sure that you take the time to thank a vet. Anyway, let's get right on to it. This is the weekend edition, and we're looking at the VIX. We do not normally look at the VIX, but I wanted to show you some things that I was seeing here. We had a nice downtrend in the VIX. Now remember, VIX, volatility index, a lot of people call this the fear indicator. When you're dropping, that means fear is leaving. Usually you're in a bullish market. Since March, we have been in a bull market, so the VIX has been dropping. We went into a downtrend, and our downtrend turned into a falling wedge. And if you see this falling wedge, I drew this trend line from this swing low to here. We have, for my students out there, this is an advanced concept that I teach. We have a white tail here, a white tail there, and hooking these up, you come over here, and it perfectly lines up with this white tail. You can see that drawing these trend lines the correct way line up perfectly. But a falling wedge is in fact bearish. It does break, or bullish. Falling wedge is bullish. It breaks out. What was acting as resistance now acts as support, and support again. Here, look at all this support we have underneath us. This red line goes back to some other areas that I was looking at. We have a lot of support here with all these trend lines. So it looks to me that the VIX could be bottoming out. So this could be bearish for the markets if that is the case. Let's go and look at the S&P now. This is the S&P daily. We're in a symmetrical triangle. This symmetrical triangle is formed at the high of an up leg. So that makes this a bullish pennant, which are more bullish than they are bearish. But at the same time, if we break down below this trend line, this could be a head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, and shoulder, which is a trend reversal formation that is more bearish than bullish. So if we break below this neckline, that means we need to close below it. That will solidify the head and shoulders formation, and we should continue down. But we are at support, and we could get a bounce, and we could rally hard. So we're in a place of indecision here. You have to wait, sit on your hands, and wait for the action to come to you. Now let's look at the weekly while we're here on the S&P. This is the S&P weekly. Let's blow this up. Really look at this. Now, and the weekly had this V-bottom formation, came straight up, boom, 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 hit this line. You can see this line right here, resistance, resistance, resistance. Smack that line now is starting to drop. A key area that I'm looking at here is the low of last week. That puts us right here, 888. And that was a nice little area right here. Also, 888 is our next area. If we close next week below 888, that will start solidifying a down leg to the down direction on the weekly chart. That could be very bearish. Our next area would be right here around 880. 880, and then we have right here at 870. So we have 870, 880, and 888 are our significant support areas. If we break any of those, it could get hairy fast. And let's look at the S&P monthly. Here's the S&P monthly. We have the Fibonacci drawing down, 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 down. We come up, and we come up and touch the 38.2 on the S&P, and we doji out. This could be very bearish. If we close below this 888 right here, that would put us, giving us a new low on the month, not just the week, but also the month. That is a key area, 888. If we close below that, that could be bad, bad, bad for the markets, and that could have a nice down leg come out on the monthly. I'm going to bypass the Dow because the Dow and the S&P tend to mirror each other pretty nicely. We only have a limited amount of time. I'm going to go to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ also has given us a symmetrical triangle, a very nice symmetrical triangle formation. Resistance, support, support, support. We're at major support right now. So the question is, are we going to hold support or will we break through? If we look at the weekly chart, we had this nice run. We went into a rising wedge, which is in fact bearish. And for the first time last week, we broke down below this trend line. We closed below that. So we have some support here at 1750, 1752 area. There's some 1760 area. There's some support here with the 50-week moving average. But I'll tell you, things could get hairy, especially if we go below 1750. If we close below 1750, that could spell trouble for the NASDAQ. Let's look at the monthly on the NASDAQ. We have a Fibonacci big leg down. Every bar is 1 month. Stretch this out. We rally, rally, rally. We have ourselves for the month here a bearish harami, or kind of a bearish engulfing almost. So this is starting to head south, and or it could start heading south. What I'm looking for is a close below this candlestick, 777. If we can close below 777, especially if we can get below that low, 753. If we can close below 1753 or 1795, I would say, we're in a heap of trouble here on the NASDAQ. Let's also look at the Russell. Another symmetrical triangle. Based on the high, makes it a bullish pennant, more bullish and bearish, or it could be a shoulder, head, and shoulder. So it's the same. Everything's consolidating, indecisions taking place. The question is, will this support line hold? If we crash below it, that is bad news. If we crash above, if we break out above, that's very good news. So let's watch this. And let's look at the weekly while we're here. The weekly, we do have a rising wedge. You can see this, rising wedge, nice rising wedge. Those are bearish, and we're down on the wrong side of it now at a support or a resistance line. So we have resistance here, and we broke below a rising wedge that is more bearish than it is bullish. Let's see if we have any movement to the downside in the week and months to come. And right here, here's the monthly chart on the NAS or on the Russells. We have up, 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 and then we have ourselves a bearish engulfing. It went up, hit this 50% retracement on the fib, come down. What I'm looking for is if we go below 500. If we close below 500, that could be really bad. If we close below 488, that could be really bad. And this month could just start dropping. When I say close, it won't close until the end of the July. I'm talking about if we go below that, you know, it could get really, really bad. So we'll have to watch this pretty close. So there you have it for the markets. Let's wrap this up. Listen, I'm going to do another video here. The next video is something very exciting that we're coming out with. There's some services. It's a V-newsletter and also mentorship. Happy trading to each and every one of you. Thank you for being a part of Free Trading Videos and the community here. And we look forward to seeing you in the chat room and also the forums.